Any problem, word problem, you gotta look at the information given to you and then assess whether it's gonna be helpful or not, based on what they want you to answer. So the first part, right, says create an equation that relates to C and N. Would anybody like to go to the board and write the equation that they came up with? Okay, you use black or blue, those probably show the best.
Can I get Michael and Rosa for the Rutgers program?
Sure. Take your time. Now, Brianna, real quick, before you sit down, could you explain why you think that's the correct equation for this situation?
Because,
Turn to face your arms. Turn to face your arms.
because C is amount that each one gives, and they're trying to find what each one gives. So that means C is C, and it equals 79.98 as it's the base markup cost, and N is people sharing the cost, and you want to find that too. So you multiply those, and you'll get C.
How many people agree with Brianna? How many agree with part of what Brianna's saying? Is there anybody that disagrees completely? Now, the people, since nobody disagrees completely, the people that disagree with part of what she's saying, raise your hand again. Okay. What do you think, Sai?
I think that she should switch the two variables, meaning that you gotta divide by how much each contribute.
Hold on, listen first. What she said. Go ahead.
And like N is how many people I think. And
You think? Does it say? I think it tells you for certain what they represent. Okay.
N is the number of people, and if you divide how much each contribute by the living cost, you'll get how many people.
Well, let me ask you this. So they asked you to find out how many people there are? That first part says create an equation that relates C and N. Now, in this, right, there's a couple sentences here, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences. Can anybody tell me how C and N relate to one another in this problem? What do you say, Jadeo?
Because both of them are stating how much people get in money and how much people are contributing.
So they both concerned with how much people are concerned with contributing their money. And then what does anybody else have anything that they want to share as far as C and N? Does everybody agree with them as far as the relationship between those two variables? What do you think?
C is inverse proportional to N, so they're both inverse proportional to each other.
So what does that mean? They're inversely proportional to each other. Does anybody want to help her? Is that the same as direct proportion? Is something inversely proportional?
I got a question.
What's your question?
Can C just be equal to N without another thing?
Well, what do you think? If C is just equal to N, Is that gonna allow us? Thank you guys. If C is just equal to N, what does that do? It's right there. Remember, C contributes, it represents the amount of money each person contributes. So this is each person, right? Money each person gives. Versus N, which is the amount of people, the number of people. Now you can look at the second part before I even ask the answer. Look what the second part says. See if this helps you answer your own question. How much will each person pay if 6 people are sharing the cost? So we know the price of the glove, right? So if I plug in 6, because we know they're saying 6 people are sharing, you think each person gives $6?
No.
Why not?
Because 6 times 6 is 6, not 7, 9.
Yeah. So right there, we know we can't use that. Good. So can't use that.
So could we solve B first to get the answer to A?
Well, I mean, we could, but I think finding an equation is very useful because in the future, you might, let's say you get a question like, okay, for C, they have part C on there. What they said, how much would it cost if 4 people are contributing? They change the amount. Now, you might have to go through this whole set of steps again versus just using an equation. Now, I'll even do what we just did. Say I plug in 6 to this equation. So 6 times $79.98. Does that sound right? If you use your reasoning skills, 6 people are paying for one thing. And I plug this in. So I plug in does that seem right to you? Before you even figure out an answer, does that seem right to you?
No.
Right? Let's say I round $79.98 to $80. What's 6 times 80?
1,000.
Raise your hand. Kim, sir.
6 times 8?
80 times 6. What's that mean? 480. So you're saying everybody has to pay $480 for a $79.98 glove? Does that make sense? So let's try something different. So how do you think I can use C, N, and the price? $79.98. How would I use them? In multiplication of the price, that total price, and the number of people that work, what do you think in your mind? Divide what? I don't know what it is. I need you to be specific.
The price and the amount of people.
You think that works? The price and the amount of people? So you're saying I could do C, the cost that each person pays, or the amount of money each person gives, is equal to, would I put $79.98 first, or would I put N first? So you're saying N over $79.98? You guys agree with that?
I think you should divide.
Who disagrees? So just one person disagrees? Why do you say N comes first? Because maybe that'll help clarify.
The N is the 6, and when you put, like, if you put something in a fraction, which means you obviously have to divide.
Okay.
So the N turns into a 6.
So you're saying you would do this.
Yes.
Okay. How many people do that, if you agree? Who disagrees? Malik, what do you think?
You can divide 79.96 into 6.
Again, what did they ask you to find in this question? How much will each person pay if 6 people are sharing the cost? Think about that. What are they asking you to find essentially? Okay,
How much for each person get?
yeah, that's like a what? A rate. So if I do it this way, this is going to tell me what? The person per amount of money versus what the questions ask you to find is the amount per person. So yes, we would put, yeah. This is what we would use, okay? So for A, we can use that. Is there another possible answer besides this equation? Is there an equivalent equation we can use for part A? Think about it. They're talking about inverse proportion.
Oh,
Yes, sir. In what Brianna had in the beginning? So if we plug in 6, let's say I round my answer 80 times 6. Each person will still pay $480. That makes sense? Think about inverse operation, Chidera. Let's say, what are you thinking?
N equals 60.
Where did you get 60 from?
6C.
Oh, 6C. So the amount of people times what? Well, the amount, not the amount of people, I misspoke. So the amount each person pays times 6, is that what you said? Does this work? Why does that work? Why does C times N equal $79.98? Why does that work? Jessica.
because it shows the money that contributes to the concept that we be sharing.
Okay, so the amount that each person is sharing times, what does N represent?
The number of people.
The number of people, you should end up with $79.98. And these are equivalent. So you can use either one, okay? Now, B, remember they asked you to find the price per person essentially. So, what do you got? What is the amount that each person is going to contribute to this gift? I read it.
I have $13.33.
$13.33. How many people agree? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who disagrees? You disagree? Okay, what do you get?
$13.31.
31 cents. Okay, so by 2 cents. All right. For the people, how many people are unsure? Well, think about it. Oh, that's not funny. Nobody's ever 100% sure 100% of the time.
That's how she looked at it.
Okay, so let's say I use this formula. C is equal to, and I'm gonna get rid of the dollar sign. I'm gonna just have the decimal. Right?